Right now, you are missing most of reality. Not metaphorically, literally. The world around you is flooded with colors, light frequencies, and visual information that your brain is completely blind to, and you have never once suspected it. What if everything you thought you knew about seeing was just a tiny, filtered fragment of what actually exists? There's a creature living in the ocean that perceives a version of reality so different from yours that scientists genuinely struggle to understand how its mind processes what it sees. And when you hear what this animal experiences every single second of its life, you will never look at the world the same way again. Stay with me, because this goes much deeper than you think. Most people believe that humans have pretty good vision. We see in full color, we can spot detail at a distance, and we feel confident navigating the visual world. But here's the contradiction that should stop you cold. A mantis shrimp, a creature roughly the size of your finger, possesses 16 different types of color receptors in its eyes. Humans have only 3. Let that number sit for a moment. 3 versus 16. Scientists initially assumed this meant the mantis shrimp was experiencing a universe of color so rich and complex that it would be utterly incomprehensible to the human mind. They imagined something like taking every color you have ever seen and multiplying it by orders of magnitude, a psychedelic explosion of perception that no human artist could ever replicate. But the truth turned out to be something far stranger and far more fascinating than that. Before we go deeper into the rabbit hole, if this kind of mind-bending science makes your brain light up, hit that like button right now and subscribe so you never miss a video that flips your understanding of reality upside down. We post every week, and trust me, you do not want to fall behind. Now, back to the shrimp that is quietly seeing things you cannot. The mantis shrimp, known scientifically as stomatopods, has been on this planet for roughly 400 million years. That is older than dinosaurs, older than most complex life on land. Evolution had an enormous amount of time to engineer its visual system, and what it produced is unlike anything else in the animal kingdom. Those 16 photoreceptor types are not just counting more colors in the same way we do. They are processing light completely differently. Human vision works through a system called opponent processing. Our 3 cone types, sensitive to red, green, and blue wavelengths, compare signals against each other. Your brain does enormous computational work to blend, contrast, and interpret millions of color combinations from just those 3 inputs. That is why we can distinguish roughly 10 million different colors despite having only 3 receptors. Remarkable, right? Now imagine researchers expected the mantis shrimp to be doing something similar but supercharged, perceiving hundreds of millions or even billions of color distinctions. When scientists ran behavioral experiments to test this, the results were genuinely shocking. The mantis shrimp was actually worse than humans at distinguishing between very similar shades of color. A human could tell apart 2 nearly identical blues that the mantis shrimp would treat as the same color. So what are those 16 receptors actually doing? This is where the science becomes almost philosophical. The mantis shrimp appears to use its visual system not like a camera blending information together, but more like a barcode scanner. Each of those 16 receptor types is tuned to a very specific wavelength, and the brain seems to identify colors by checking which channels are activated, almost like reading a quick code rather than computing a complex mixture. This means the mantis shrimp processes visual information at incredible speed with minimal neural effort. It is trading fine discrimination for lightning-fast recognition. In an environment where a fraction of a second determines whether you eat or get eaten, that is an extraordinary evolutionary advantage. But the 16 color channels are only part of the story. Mantis shrimp eyes also detect ultraviolet light across multiple frequencies, something completely invisible to humans. They can see polarized light, meaning they perceive the orientation of light waves themselves, which creates an entire additional layer of visual information layered over everything they see. Their eyes move independently and can rotate in 3 dimensions, giving them the ability to judge depth with a single eye, something no human can do. Now close your eyes for a moment and try to imagine experiencing all of this simultaneously. You are scanning a coral reef. The colors you see are not blended and continuous like a painting. They are discrete, immediate, almost labeled, like reading a sign rather than interpreting an abstract artwork. On top of that visual layer, there is a ghostly ultraviolet dimension, revealing patterns on creatures that appear plain to every other animal around. And threading through everything is the hidden geometry of polarized light, turning the water itself into a shimmering coded message. That is a genuinely alien way of experiencing existence, built by 400 million years of survival pressure. What would happen to a human brain if it could suddenly switch to this mode of seeing? Neurologists suggest it would be overwhelming to the point of dysfunction. Your visual cortex simply does not have the architecture to decode that volume and variety of simultaneous information. You would likely experience something closer to sensory overload than enhanced perception, at least at first. The mantis shrimp brain has evolved alongside its extraordinary eyes, building the precise neural machinery needed to make sense of what it receives. Vision is not just about the eye. It is about the entire system, eye and brain together, shaped by millions of years of pressure to survive in a specific world. This creature reminds us that there is no single correct way to experience reality. Every animal on Earth is living inside its own version of the world, carefully filtered and shaped by the particular evolutionary history of its species. The mantis shrimp is not seeing more of reality than you. It is seeing a different slice of it, optimized for a completely different set of survival problems. And somewhere out there, other creatures are doing the same with sound, with magnetic fields, with electric signals, all of them inhabiting the same physical universe but experiencing entirely different versions of it. The question that should stay with you after watching this is not just what the mantis shrimp sees. The question is, what are you missing right now that you do not even know to look for? If that question keeps you up at night the way it keeps us up, then you are in exactly the right place. Subscribe to this channel, ring the notification bell, and share this video with someone whose mind you want to completely unsettle today. We will see you in the next one with another piece of reality you never knew you were missing.